Disclaimer, not a pro at this ridiculous funny game. Welcome to another perk guide. Today, we'll be looking at the resident team killer, the Blitzer, because everyone who plays this perk actually does not know how to play the perk or know what they're doing, a troll, or somehow miss everything, the true blitzing god that we all need. We'll be going over the pros and cons, the team killing ability, trades equipment to use, and some gameplay tips so you actually don't end up team killing too! Or do because you're actually probably just a sadistic bastard. Beginning with the basics. Holy shit, we have a lot of pros. What the hell? We start with increased aiming speed because quite literally in the perk name they're so cracked out they can't stop moving. We have increased resistances to damage, which means we take less ouchies, probably because they're so buffed up for being a backline perk for some reason. Immune to fracture, which is not the icon running away from the police, but instead the icon looks like someone has a decapitated arm. That's fracture. If you don't know what that is, make sure you're unable to aim and shove, as well as slower swing speed. You don't get any of that, congratulations. And finally, you're also immune to explosive effects. Effects, not explosives, just the effects, such as the deniers from explosives and such. You get the idea, just the effects, not like the damage from the explosive. However, we have reduced melee damage and slower trap deployment just because the perk just wants to keep throwing more bombs out there and literally nothing else. Our TK ability is the Izbukni gift, which we'll just call them bombs or something. They're airburst bombs, it's in the name of Izbukni, okay? It's Romanian. Alright, I'm not going to keep pronouncing that word ever again, we're just going to call them bombs or something. It means burst. Pressing F will throw out one of these bombs and stick to any surface. How far you can throw them? Yeah, you know, a fair distance depending on the angle and such. Grab a protractor, I'm sure that will help. Holding F, however, will set off any of the thrown bombs off, letting out an AoE of explosions and also a cool light show if you want that. This will actually damage any team member, like how it is a TK ability, and scavs unfortunately in its AoE radius. And also do about like a second stun. The damage is fairly lethal, maybe about half, but you'll usually need a second one bomb just to actually clean up most of the damaged scavs. You do have about 6 of these total, which will give you one back for every 16 to 17%, and you gain them at a fairly fast rate of 1% per second. However, another thing you should know is you actually have no limit on how many you can have on the field, and they will disappear at the beginning of the next wave if you threw them during the wave and then set them off. Bit confusing, but just being real, you actually don't need to set up like 20 of them just to have everything die in your path. I mean, you can if you want, but all you really need is 2 per like mid-wave. That's about it. Traits can run depending on what you want to be. You could be a melee or gunslinger blitzer. Though really, it's probably better to be the gunslinging blitzer since they're more of a backline, but you can do heavy burst damage for the rest of the team if you need to. So running things like Impatient, Fearless, and Paranoia is a good combo, giving movement speed, more resistance to guns and explosions, and you can ADS even faster. However, if you don't want to go the Paranoia route, you can go the professional route if you do want. I did win with this combo though, just saying. It's in this video. I probably don't put it in the video, but it's in this video. If you really want to go the melee route though, remove Paranoia for dependable or methodical, but like I said, Blitzer fits more with the gunslinger and backliner. Equipment can be a tricky choice. A lot of Blitzers would say holo emitter, because a neat thing you can do with that equipment is attach the bombs to the hologram. The hologram would just run out the scavs, and all you have to do is just hold F. And you just decimate just the entire the force of those scavs. However, to me and probably some others, it does take a bit too much to set up in the later waves to actually be ideal in the first place. So things I would say is probably the Constantina bombs or the Caldera are probably much better ideal picks, since the damage from the bleed from the Constantina bomb will only need about one of them just to actually remove all the scavs that got hit by it, or just one bullet. The Caldera gives you buffs It removes the camera sway if you're doing the backline gunslinging Blitzer, which is also useful. I use the Caldera, I think. I'm not sure. I both of them work fine. Do what the hell you want. Now, if you want to separate yourself from the TKing Blitzers and actually become a viable teammate, then here's where we'll actually go over the things that you can do to prevent TKs and some extra tips so that way you could actually be much more viable. First, do not use these bombs during the early waves. Because it doesn't matter if you have front lines or not. Literally, for some reason, everybody goes monkey mode the first 3 nights and just go out there no matter if they have reduced defense or whatever and kill them all. All you're going to do is hurt them more. You're just going to hurt them and hinder their abilities. Or even kill them, which isn't good, by the way. However, when more threatening enemies come, maybe like 5, 6, you have the Concertina. Start using that more when you're outside in their spawning locations with a bomb to help soften up the enemies more. Just communicate if you're doing this. I did this, by the way, and some high man thought it was funny to just remove all of it because I accidentally killed somebody, but whatever. By like night 6, Scavor and late game, everyone is staying away from the entrance. This is your time to actually set up 2-ish bombs near the entrance, maybe 3, and set them off when a large group comes. Only throw 1 bomb at late game if there's a swarm coming, but away from the team. When there is a small break, set up with 2 more bombs and repeat that process while shooting them down. Just that way, you just clean up everything. Now, when it comes to Yosef, just fucking nuke him with all of them. Alright, and share with your team with guns. That's all you have to do. I literally did this recently. We won like that. At the end of the day, try not to be a TKing Blitzer, because if you actually don't become a TKing Blitzer and you actually do the role of what the Blitzer can do, your team will appreciate you. And you can win with the Blitzer. It's just, for some reason, people think it's funny to just blow each other up with the Blitzer. But if it's an Explorer though, fucking go for it, because fuck them. Alright, have fun, don't blow friends up.